Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing great. Obviously glad to be here. Getting right to the spring game. Been a nice little good 4.5 weeks of just football, coaching football, and just enjoying it. Great place. Excited for Saturday night. Get back in William Bryce. Our fans will be great like always, and just looking forward to get back out there on Saturday. Any questions?
Clayton, I think you spoke before about 4-2-5 versus 3-3-5 and how you'll kind of just use all that as a base. I mean, do you anticipate, having to switch in and out of it, say 50-50 per game? And do you start that work in the spring, or is that more of a preseason camp kind of thing?
Yeah, we're definitely going with the flex nickel. It's definitely 50-50, right on the nose. You know what I mean? So we've done a good job this spring of sprinkling both of those in. There were some days, depending on who was practicing. One, it may be more 3-3-5, maybe more 4-2-5, depends on the personnel, like always. But today was probably a 50-50 day. I mean, that's one of the things that we felt like we ended the season with. We want to kind of always do what's best for the team.
Al was just in here talking about how preseason and spring football type stuff's better for defensive coaches. You can kind of just tell guys to follow rules a little more than offense can. Do you agree with that assessment? And kind of what are you looking to see Saturday from your guys? What would be a successful spring game?
A successful spring game will be obviously clean football on both sides, and walk away with nobody getting banged up, no toe injuries or anything whatsoever. Just come out clean as possible. I think the most important thing for us is just executing calls. Like, yes, I'm very competitive. I'm not really caring on who wins the drill. I'm more care about us executing the call, and then obviously competing in the end, and whoever wins. But very, very, serious about us executing our calls. That's the most important thing. Is if we make a call and don't drop the wrong way, all of a sudden, I think there was one spring game we had a guy wide open in the right corner, and I'm still mad about it. So just want to be able to execute calls whenever calls are called.
Clayton, I asked Shane this the other day, but for you as a defensive coordinator, there's obviously several positions in particular that really stand out in terms of that competition. How much stock do you put into the actual spring game and what you see from certain players and how they perform versus the other 14 practices that took place this spring?
The spring game, I mean, there's some stock for sure because first and foremost, the coaches aren't on the field. I mean, you can't hear the coaches give you that last little coaching point. It's definitely a great opportunity for. It's kind of like a SAT or final exam type of thing. Like, you're on your own now. I know you wouldn't pay for all the training and all of the SAT prep, ACT prep. That's old school stuff. I don't know if they do that anymore. But you go get all that prep, and then when it's time to go that Saturday morning, go take that test, you're on your own. So that's kind of that's what I take from it. If a guy, I'm gonna know if you really know your stuff Saturday, because when we signal it in or yell it in through the headsets, you have to do. I mean, I can't tell you what else to do. So that's what I take from the spring games, and effort and playmaking ability. Like, those things you kind of have a feel for it, but you definitely get to see it more in the game.
Obviously, you have a lot of veteran guys to work with who've been around, but a handful of new guys, whether they're freshmen or transfers. How have the new guys done in picking things up and getting
Anytime somebody's new and they get comfortable pretty fast, to me, I give credit to the guys that are there teaching them and helping them, guide them the way. I think our veteran guys have done an outstanding job at each position. I want to say we have some new players and either freshmen or transfer, like you said. But our guys that were here before have done an outstanding job of mentoring them and teaching them the ropes. And I think that's important. And we understand that if we have everybody in this defensive room available for games on Saturday, we have a chance to do some good things. And obviously it takes all of us. We have a saying that says, "One shine, we all shine." So we all trying to build off of that and make sure we are holding each other accountable.
Dal was talking about how hectic these next couple days are going to be in terms of trying to get your guys ready for spring practice, but also managing the transfer portal. What does the process look like from you? A guy, posted on Twitter, I'm guessing like an analyst or something, GA kind of says, hey, this guy's in, and you have to confirm that and then watch a bunch of film. What are your days looking like right now, and what do you have to do on your end to feel comfortable about reaching out to a player?
Well, we have a process here. It starts with our personnel department, based on the amount of scholarships we have, based on the room, based on the need, and you just can't go out and sign over the scholarship number. So we at a certain number right now to where I may see a guy jump in the portal right now, and it's kind of like I see it, but I can't really do anything. But if someone ever sparks our, the sparks out, kind of gets our attention, we definitely start our process, and it starts in the player personnel room, then it goes to myself, the D staff, and then it goes through Coach Beamer, and then we try to get the ball rolling. So it's just a traditional recruiting process. It can be hectic. It can be hectic. It also cannot as well.
Clayton, you do have a lot of older guys on defense, Debo, Nick, DQ, whoever. For the spring game, do you guys or do you want them to play like the full game, or is this more of a chance, let's let the younger guys play most of the game?
And I think the earlier question was some of the things we get from the spring game is to go along with your question is like also you get a chance to add depth. You get to see. I mean, you definitely want those guys to go out there and get kind of their preseason game out of the way with the crowd and the spotlight part of it. But you also want to see the young players, the new players, and to see how they perform for the first time. I mean, it'd be our first time seeing them, so it's more of a providing depth. It was the most important thing. I think that's the fun part too.
After these 13 practices, where you feel like things are at with that cornerback spot opposite OD in that battle?
Yeah, right now, I think those guys are, kind of like Coach Gray would say, you want to have, not so many highs and lows. I think those guys have done a great job of competing the right way. We've let all of them run with the ones and twos. We let all those guys get the same amount of reps. And I think all three of them have done a great job. I think we really like that room and that competition. And it's still, I think it'll be one of those things where we'll keep evaluating and keep it moving. And, obviously Judge played more snaps last season, so he has a little bit more experience. Emery's an older guy who's matured a lot. He's kind of put his track shoes up. They're hanging on the power lines right now. So it's good, and I think he has focused and he's shown he's taken the next step. I think Emery made the biggest jump in regards of where he was, to me in my mind. And Bakari makes plays all the time, and Judges has the experience, so it's a good group.
You look at the guys you have on edge with Dylan Stewart and Bam Martin-Scott and Kyle Kennard. They're so long and athletic. Are those guys and that personnel, is that the reason that you're able to run a flex nickel defense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Just to how, like I said, the way things ended last year and how we use Bam, and Bam has been playing all three positions this spring. He's been outstanding. Had a great spring. But yes, having Kyle Kennard, Dylan, Gilbert, Desmond, BT, that room has really come together, and they've been a huge part of what we can do. And they're learning more every single day. Like, we still installing parts of our defense to the new guys, just so we didn't want to give it all to them at once. But for the most part, it's been awesome watching all those dudes just learn the system and just get better. But they're definitely the reason why we can do flex nickel.
Hey, Clayton, the spring practice is different from August practice. August practice is different from game week practice. Is there a certain time of year or type of practice that you enjoy more than another or get more satisfaction from?
That's a good question. I'm gonna rewind back, and also JT Gear. I didn't want to leave him out. These kids, they watch these press conferences, so don't make him think that I forgot about him. Hope I didn't forget about anybody else. Make sure I didn't. But my favorite practices, I would say, it's probably fall camp because, spring is an opportunity to really look at some things. Basically, you had your season, right, and then all of a sudden you have some changes that you want to make, some schematic things within your defense, and you put it in the spring, and then you go have summer camps all summer. You go on vacation in July, and just to build up for the season. I would say fall camp because you practice every day. I think that's the main reason for me, and obviously for the obvious reason, it's closer to the games. But to me, you practice every day, so it's every day you have a chance to put your cleats in the grass and get better and improve. So I think that would be my favorite part. The players probably hate it, but they probably want the day off in between. But to me, as a football coach, I want to, get out there every single day. Thank you, guys. See you guys Saturday night. Take care. Thank you.